Hello guys, good evening everyone. How are you? कैसे बाबू చెప్పండి ఎలా ఉన్నారు తెలుగు స్టూడెంట్స్ ఏపీ పొల్యూషన్ కంట్రోల్ బోర్డ్ పేపర్ 2 సొల్యూషన్ పార్ట్ 3 we have completed 47 questions, so we are moving on to next total 150 questions in 5 sessions target लगा दिया. Is everything okay? Audio video everything okay? Please tell me, confirm me once. So this is part 3. Confirm करो ना फटाफट जल्दी. I'm waiting for your response. Please confirm guys. How are you? Good evening Ananya. Oh so many corrections in SSC JEE, I hope you have seen. But how many considered, not considered? That is we don't know na Ananya. All clear? Chalo. So what happened? So students are there in SSC JEE. Here they are not coming. How are you Babu? Good evening. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. So Unacademy scholarship test for 90% up to 90% scholarship, to achieve up to 90% scholarship, April 19th we are having the scholarship test 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. two time slots 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. you get up to 90% scholarship. So then new batches are getting launched for GATE ESC PSUs 2027 Civil 2.0. New batches are getting started, and I am starting here with open channel flow and environmental engineering. I am launching 2 subjects from 28th onwards. 28th April onwards, morning 7 a.m. I am starting open channel flow, 5:30 p.m. I am starting environmental engineering. चलो तो अभी तो ट्रेंडिंग होता है ना बेटा भाई कति, ये तो अभी तो ट्रेंडिंग जा रहा है ना, ट्रेंडिंग. दैट इज द रीजन. सो क्या चल रहा है बोलो, आप बताओ क्या हो रहा है. बोलो भैया, शुरू करेंगे क्वेश्चंस. स्टार्ट सॉल्विंग क्वेश्चन. चलो कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Whoever our regular students who are sincere in the class will continue, no worries, we'll go ahead. Chalo, 48 questions completed. We move on to 49th question. 48 question completed na. 49th question. What is common source of noise pollution as associated with military activities? Common source of noise pollution as associated with military activities. Bolo bhaiya, what is the answer? Bicycle races, hiking trails, sonic booms, fireworks display. So please read this. नॉइस पोल्यूशन किसका कारण से होता है स्पेशली, एंड दे आर नॉट आस्किंग इन ए रेगुलर पैटर्न. नॉइस पोल्यूशन इन मिलिटरी सोर्सेस, मिलिटरी एक्टिविटीज के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. नॉइस पोल्यूशन इन मिलिटरी एक्टिविटीज. सो बाइसिकल रेसेस दे वोंट कंडक्ट. मिलिटरी एक्टिविटीज डज नॉट कंडक्ट एनी बाइसिकल रेसेस. In hiking trails there is no noise. Sonic booms. Sonic booms matlab, what is that? Supersonic aircrafts will fly in the atmosphere, in the air. Above ground level at certain height, supersonic aircrafts will travel. So, this is a military activity. Fireworks they won't display, na? Display. Just they are saying fireworks display. वो तो नहीं करेंगे. So, what is the answer? Sonic booms. Hello, Janvi. What happened? Missed some days in the class? In which state Kokkar-Bellar village situated where pelicans are an endangered species? So this is the topic. This question is related to the topic biodiversity. This question comes under the topic biodiversity. What they are saying? Pelicans. Pelicans are an endangered species. मतलब extinct species, those which have the dangerous possibility to extinct, disappear from the nature. So these pelicans, and also we are having painted storks, two types of birds. These are birds actually. So birds, we can say pelicans, painted storks. These two are the birds which disappear from the ground. From earth's surface they are getting disappeared and have the danger to be extinct in nature. So for that purpose, in a village, Kokkar-Bellar village, in this village, these birds are getting grown and they are getting reminded to grow, maintaining the existence of the birds. So वो कौन सा स्टेट को करते हैं? बोलो, which state it belongs? Karnataka. Very good, Prem Chaudhary, nice. It belongs to Karnataka. The village, Kokkar-Bellar village, belongs to Karnataka. So this kind of questions, na, out of 150 questions in the paper, 10 questions nobody can knows. That much remote questions we are having. 10 questions out of 150, no student can answer. तो आपको नहीं आ गया, जानते हैं ये क्वेश्चन, किसी को भी नहीं जानते, टेंशन मत ले लो ऐसा मॉडल क्वेश्चन आने के बाद. चलो, which of the following represent living natural resource? इसमें living natural resource क्या होता है? Which of the following represent living natural resource? Mineral, soil, plant and air. देखो 1, 2, 4, इसमें कोई लिविंग कंडीशन नहीं है ना, नॉन लिविंग है ना. क्वेश्चन में क्या पूछ लिया भैया? क्वेश्चन में लिविंग नेचुरल रिसोर्स, लिविंग लाइफ किसका अंदर रहते भैया? लाइफ प्लांट्स में रहते हैं. प्लांट्स होता है ना, लिविंग तो प्लांट्स को चलेगा ना, प्लांट्स को लिविंग. चलो नेक्स्ट, आराम से हो सकते थोड़ा थोड़ा क्वेश्चन. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ नॉन रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी सोर्सेस? कल तो बता दिया व्हाट इज रिन्यूएबल, व्हाट इज नॉन रिन्यूएबल. यस्टरडे सेशन में इतना अच्छे एक्सप्लेन कर दिया, याद है ना आपको? रिन्यूएबल क्या होता है, नॉन रिन्यूएबल क्या होता है, इतना अच्छे बता दिया. तो नॉन रिन्यूएबल मतलब नो नेचुरल रिप्लेनिशेबल. रिन्यूएबल हो जाएगा नेचुरली रिप्लेनिशेबल. नेचुरली खुद से रिप्लेस करने वाला, रिचार्ज करने वाला रिन्यूएबल. नॉन रिन्यूएबल बोलो भैया क्या होता है? नेचुरल गैस, जियोथर्मल, हाइड्रो पावर, सोलर एनर्जी. क्या होता है भैया? आंसर क्या है? व्हाट इज द आंसर? व्हाट इज द आंसर? वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. नेचुरल गैस ना, बिकॉज दिस आर ऑल रिन्यूएबल. कल तो लिख दिया, इसका एग्जाम्पल्स भी लिख दिया ना, रिन्यूएबल. जियोथर्मल, हाइड्रो पावर, सोलर एनर्जी बार बार रीजेनरेट करते जाते हैं, रिप्लेनिश करते जाते, रिचार्ज करते जाते हैं, तो ये रिन्यूएबल हो जाएगा. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग बेस्ट डिस्क्राइब्स अर्बन स्प्रॉल? अर्बन स्प्रॉल को कौन बेस्ट डिस्क्राइब करते जाते हैं? पहले अर्बन स्प्रॉल क्या हो जाएगा ये पता होना चाहिए ना. वी मस्ट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज अर्बन स्प्रॉल. अर्बन मतलब टाउन. टाउन में इसका टाइम टू टाइम, ईयर टू ईयर पॉपुलेशन बढ़ते जाते. पॉपुलेशन ऑफ ए टाउन स्लोली इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. सो अकॉर्डिंगली टाउन प्लानिंग तो करना पड़ेगा ना. प्रॉपर टाउन प्लानिंग टू बी डन डिपेंडिंग अपॉन पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी. जो पॉपुलेशन इसका अंदर आएगा इसका अकॉर्डिंगली टाउन का एक्सटेंशन प्लान करना पड़ेगा. एंड इसको लैंड यूज को अच्छे से प्लान करना पड़ेगा. ऑल्सो इसका अंदर चलने वाला ट्रैफिक को मेंटेन करने का प्लान करना. इफ टाउन प्लानिंग अच्छा नहीं हुआ, व्हीकल्स ट्रैवलिंग के लिए ट्रैफिक स्टडीज अच्छा नहीं किया, इनएफिशिएंट लैंड यूज हो गया, that will be problem to the town existence, town environment. The ecosystem and environment of the town will become unsuitable for healthy atmosphere. इसको बता रहे अर्बन स्प्रॉल. तो क्या होता है भैया अर्बन स्प्रॉल के बारे में? व्हाट इज जियोथर्मल? 1 मिनट जानवी को एक्सप्लेन करते हैं. जियोथर्मल तो जियोथर्मल सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी ना. नेचर से सॉइल का अंदर हीट रहेगा, सॉइल का अंदर हीट होता है ना, दट को इसको रिन्यूएबल करते जाते ना. जियोथर्मल एनर्जी, जियोथर्मल पावर एनर्जी. सो बिलो द अर्थ सरफेस देयर इज ए मैग्मा, वोल्केनोस. टेम्परेचर कंटिन्यूअसली बढ़ते जाते. हीट इनसाइड द सॉइल इज मेंटेन्ड, रिलीज्ड अगेन एब्सॉर्ब्ड, रिलीज्ड अगेन एब्सॉर्ब्ड. That maintenance. चलो, compact and efficient urban development. If it is efficient, why can we say urban sprawl? We can't say it as urban sprawl. If it is efficient, इसको urban sprawl बोलना जरूरी नहीं होता है. It is efficient नहीं होगा, inefficient. Then only urban sprawl. देखो unplanned बता दिया. देखो unplanned expansion of urban area into surrounding rural lands. टाउन प्लानिंग अच्छा नहीं हुआ, इनएफिशिएंट प्लानिंग हो गया, पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी बढ़ गया, सो दैट इसका प्लानिंग एक्सपेंशन इनटू रूरल एरियाज हो गया. इसको बता रहे अर्बन स्प्रॉल. अर्बन स्प्रॉल. ठीक हो. हेलो श्याम सुंदर, गुड इवनिंग, हाउ आर यू? चलो, read the following statements and conclusions carefully. Decide which of the following conclusion logically follow given statement. Statement दिया है, ecosystem provide invaluable services. Invaluable मतलब इसका वर्थ ना इतना ज्यादा है, we can't estimate, quantify the value. समझ आ गया? कैन यू क्वांटिफाई द वैल्यू ऑफ एयर? एयर का वर्थ हम वैल्यू नहीं करते. पानी, पानी रीजनरेट नहीं करेंगे ना. कैन यू क्रिएट एयर? कैन यू क्रिएट वाटर? कैन यू क्रिएट एनी नेचुरल रिसोर्सेस? सो देयर वर्थ इज इन्फिनिट. वी कांट डिफाइन द वर्थ. इनवैल्यूएबल बता रहे. सो इकोसिस्टम कैन प्रोवाइड इनवैल्यूएबल सोर्सेस, सर्विसेस. सो इकोसिस्टम से हमको क्या आ रहा है? soil, air, water, solar energy. All these will come now. What are invaluable services? Soil, air, water, solar radiation. These are all the invaluable services provided by ecosystem that support life on earth. वो सपोर्ट करते ना हमारा जिंदगी अर्थ में कंटिन्यू करने के लिए. Our life to continue on earth, without this life does not exist, and contribute to human well-being. And contribute to human well-being. Yes or no? That is clear na? Ecosystem is providing all the invaluable services like soil, water, air, sunlight, solar radiation. सभी चीज फ्री में दे रहे, invaluable services. चलो, preserving ecosystem is essential for maintaining biodiversity and ecological balance. बोलो, इकोसिस्टम को प्रिजर्व करना जरूरी होता है नहीं होता है? बताओ भैया। इकोसिस्टम को प्रिजर्व करना, बायोडाइवर्सिटी मेंटेन करना एंड बैलेंस, इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस के लिए, बायोडाइवर्सिटी मेंटेन करने के लिए प्रिजर्विंग इकोसिस्टम इज इंपॉर्टेंट. Consequently, investing in ecosystem conservation efforts has no significant impact on socio-economic development. देखो भैया, इकोसिस्टम का कंजर्वेशन इफेक्ट्स ह्यूमन सोशियो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट को कोई इंपैक्ट नहीं है बता रहे. सोशियो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट मतलब इसको ये बता सकते हैं सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट तो कल बता दिया. सस्टेनेबल क्या होता है? योर इकोनॉमिकल ग्रोथ होना जरूरी, सो दैट यू गेट गुड क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ. अच्छे खाना मिलेगा, अच्छे हवा मिलेगा, अच्छा पानी मिलेगा, ह्यूमन लॉन्गेविटी बढ़ेगा. किसका कारण से? पहले आपको इकोनॉमिकल लाइफस्टाइल चेंज करना, सोशल लाइफस्टाइल चेंज करना. दैट इज कॉल्ड सस्टेनेबल. देन नो सिग्निफिकेंट इंपैक्ट. ये गलत बात है, गलत बात है. तो आंसर ओनली कंक्लूजन वन फॉलोस. दिस विल गो ना. ओनली कंक्लूजन वन फॉलोस. ऑप्शन 3. चलो, क्लियर. Which of the following describes composition of activated sludge used in the process? Activated sludge यूज कर रहा है ना, इसको composition कौन बता सकते हैं? केमिकल कोएगुलेंट, प्योर ऑक्सीजन, एरोबिक माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म, एनारोबिक बैक्टीरिया. Which is representing? Which is representing activated sludge को? पता है एक्टिवेटेड स्लज क्या होता है? बोलो ना फटाफट जल्दी. एक्टिवेटेड स्लज क्या होता है भैया? तो हम रॉ स्लज लेते ना सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट से, वो एरेशन टैंक में डालते, इसको ऑक्सीजन ऐड करते, एरोबिक माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म ऐड करते, अच्छे से स्टीर करेंगे, बहुत अच्छे से स्टीर करेंगे 4 से 8 घंटा. क्या करेंगे भैया? This is aeration tank. Aeration tank. This is aeration tank. फिर इसमें ऑक्सीजन लगा देंगे, ऑक्सीजन लगा देंगे, यहां से ऑक्सीजन लगा देंगे. फिर रॉ सीवेज और रॉ स्लज फ्रॉम एसटीपी वो लगा देंगे. फिर साथ में एरोबिक बैक्टीरिया. तो ये सभी चीज मिक्स करने के बाद जो बनाते रॉ स्लज कन्वर्टेड टू एक्टिवेटेड स्लज. सो एक्टिवेटेड स्लज इज ए स्लज विच इज फुल्ली सैचुरेटेड विथ एफिशिएंट एरोबिक माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स विथ ऑक्सीजन. दोनों साथ में होना चाहिए. रॉ स्लज is a fully saturated sludge with sufficient oxygen and aerobic bacteria. That is called activated. So, aerobic microorganism is the answer. Na? Aerobic microorganism is the answer. Na? Chalo? Yeah, this is MCQ only always. Because आप सोच रहे, you are thinking pure oxygen. जानवी, यू आर थिंकिंग प्योर ऑक्सीजन. ऑक्सीजन प्योर कैसा आता है? यू आर गिविंग ऑक्सीजन, देन इट इज मिक्सिंग विथ सीवेज. हाउ इट विल बी प्योर ऑक्सीजन देन? प्योर ऑक्सीजन मीन्स ओनली ऑक्सीजन, नो अदर कंपोनेंट. दैट इज व्हाई यू आर आस्किंग, इज इट एमसीक्यू? यू आर थिंकिंग ऑक्सीजन. नो, बिकॉज दे रोट ना प्योर ऑक्सीजन. प्योर ऑक्सीजन डज नॉट कम अंडर इट. What is the primary purpose of a life cycle assessment? life cycle assessment, where it come in environmental impact assessment. The topic related to environmental impact assessment, life cycle assessment to measure profit, to raise a product cost, to study political effects, to analyze environmental impact. So very clearly, this is the topic LCA, life cycle assessment comes under environmental impact assessment. That is the phase, environmental impact assessment phase. इसमें कोई प्रॉफिट नहीं, नेचर का इंपैक्ट, एनवायरनमेंट का इंपैक्ट, मतलब एक इंडस्ट्री शुरू कर रहा है, इंडस्ट्री का कारण से नेचर एनवायरनमेंट में क्या इंपैक्ट्स, क्या चेंजेस, क्या क्लाइमेट का मॉडिफिकेशन होता है, तो प्रॉफिट कुछ नहीं। प्रोडक्ट कास्ट का बारे में नहीं बात करते, एंड नो इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ पॉलिटिकल सिनारियो इन इट, वेरी क्लियरली टू एनालाइज एनवायरमेंटल इंपैक्ट, टू एनालाइज एनवायरमेंटल इंपैक्ट। वो भी चलते ना, बोलो भैया, बताओ फटाफट, हो गया? Which of the following is a consequence of overutilization of groundwater? ग्राउंड वाटर को ज्यादा यूटिलाइज कर लिया, फिर ओवर यूटिलाइज करने के बाद, ग्राउंड वाटर को ज्यादा यूटिलाइज करने के बाद व्हाट हैपेंड? एक्सपेंशन ऑफ वेटलैंड हैबिट्स, एनहांस्ड वाटर क्वालिटी, इंक्रीज्ड एक्विफर रिचार्ज रेट्स, ड्राउट। बोलो बाबू। तो वेटलैंड हैबिट नहीं होता है, ग्राउंड वाटर ज्यादा खींच के यूज कर लिया, यू हैव यूटिलाइज्ड मोर एंड मोर अमाउंट ऑफ ग्राउंड वाटर। हाउ वाटर क्वालिटी एनहांसमेंट इंप्रूवमेंट? रॉन्ग। एक्विफर रिचार्ज रेट, इसके लिए कोई रिचार्ज रेट का बारे में ग्राउंड वाटर में गलत बात है, वो डिक्रीज हो जाएगा ना। रिचार्ज रेट क्या होता है? डिक्लाइन होता है, बिकॉज पानी नहीं है, रिचार्ज करने का पानी नहीं है, तो डिक्रीज हो जाएगा। तो फाइनली ड्राउट, ड्राउट, ड्राउट हो जाएगा ना भैया, पानी नहीं है, पानी नहीं होने के कारण से ड्राउट हो जाएगा। चलो so read the given statement, conclusions, okay, done. So this is एलॉयस बोल दिया, मटेरियल साइंस का क्वेश्चन है, क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड टू मटेरियल साइंस। alloys with low aluminum content 4% to 7% are single phase alloys and can be fabricated by cold working process due to their good ductility and malleability. Because of their good ductility and malleability, alloys with low aluminum content, 4 to 7% aluminum content, single phase alloys we can say. 2 points you can remember. First, the alloys carry low aluminum 4 to 7%. Second, they carry good ductility and malleability. Alloys with low aluminum content are fabricated by cold rolling, drying and pressing. So what they have mentioned? Fabricated by cold working process, बता दिया ना। Low aluminum content, low aluminum content 4% to 7%, single phase, can be fabricated by cold working process. बता दिया नहीं बता दिया? तो ये करेक्ट होगा ना, this will be correct then. Fabricated by cold rolling, drying and pressing. चलो फिर क्या होता है? These alloys are used in pump casting, valve fitting, gears. स्टेटमेंट में ऐसा कुछ नहीं बता दिया ना हमको। Statement does not stated any kind of application. Is it written? Statement concluded only fabrication process. Statement does not talk any application process. So we consider it is irrelevant. So only as per statement, whether the application may be true or false, we don't know. But as per the statement, our answer should be given. Yesterday also I told, answer must be given as per the given statement. Given statement does not talk about application. Application का बारे में कुछ नहीं बता दिया given statement. तो only one follows. Clear? Clear भाई, only one follows. सब लोग को समझ आ गया? Why not two? Why not two? Because it does not discuss anything regarding application. Never discussed anything about application. According to municipal solid waste management and handling rules, which of the following practices encouraged for waste disposal? For the purpose of waste disposal, solid waste management handling rules, what practices can be encouraged? Open dumping on vacant land, segregation of waste into biodegradable and non-biodegradable, mixing hazardous and non-hazardous for disposal, incineration without any emission control. So, what we can do? So, as per the norms छोड़ दो, common sense से सोच लो. Just think with common sense. Can you dump the solid waste in the open area? Wrong, na? Vacant land dumping solid waste in the open area is a crime. ये ना करना चाहिए. Not in my backyard syndrome we discussed. याद है? Collection, storage and transport of solid waste topic. We discussed disadvantage. Not in my backyard syndrome. That is one. Dumping on vacant land. गलत बात है. So this is we have to do na. Segregation of waste into biodegradable, non-biodegradable. Biodegradable can go for composting. Non-biodegradable can go for either incineration or pyrolysis. Respective treatment को जाने के लिए solid waste to be segregated into biodegradable, non-biodegradable. Then mixing of hazardous, non-hazardous. So we can't mix, na? Because non-hazardous is a MSW. The waste MSW का specific property क्या होता है? MSW is a non-hazardous. The waste which is non-hazardous is considered to be MSW. इसको separate treatment करना. Hazardous have exclusive treatment, that is different. Why we can mix both hazardous and non-hazardous? गलत बात होता है. Incineration without any emission control. Very important, na? Incineration emits gases. Incineration without any emission control will cause release of gases, air pollution. So if you want to perform incineration, emission को कंट्रोल करने का, बाहर आने वाला गैसेस को पकड़ने का पाइपलाइन लगाना पड़ेगा. You have to provide the pipelines that entrap the gases. तो ये गलत बात है. तो आंसर 2 चलेगा ना, ऑप्शन 2. For Newtonian fluids, relation between shear stress and velocity gradient. What is Newton's law of viscosity? बोलो भैया, Newton's law of viscosity, Newtonian fluid. Shear stress, tau is proportional to du by dy. So if you have drawn the graph, how should be the graph? How the graph will be? Shear stress is taken here, du by dy taken on x-axis. Graph is a linearly increasing, na? Linearly increasing, na? तो बताओ, zigzag line, straight line, sinusoidal curve, parabolic curve, क्या आएगा? क्या आएगा भैया? Linearly increased curve, इसको बता रहे straight line. Linearly increased, shear stress is proportional to rate of shear strain. Shear stress is directly proportional to velocity gradient, du by dy. What strategy should be adopted for solid waste disposal? Solid waste disposal को क्या strategy adopt करना? तो what is strategy? RRR, ट्रिपल आर मूवी, पता है ना ट्रिपल आर मूवी? रिड्यूस, रिसाइकिल, रिड्यूस, रीयूज, रिसाइकिल. आरआरआर क्या है भैया? आरआरआर रिड्यूस, रीयूज, रिसाइकिल. जीरो वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट करना, and lowest waste can go for treatment and disposal. Lowest amount of waste can go for treatment and disposal. Zero waste management करना. इसको क्या बता रहे? Waste reduction management plan, integrated waste management plan. याद है आपको डायग्राम? ऐसा ट्रायंगल लगा दिया. So फर्स्ट प्रिवेंशन आते हैं ना इसमें. फर्स्ट फेज में क्या आते हैं? प्रिवेंशन. Then reduce, then reuse, then recycle, then energy recovery, last में disposal. कौन सा प्लान है वो? Prevention to avoid generation of waste. Solid waste generation to be stopped. Avoid उतना possible रहेगा उतना avoid कर दो. Prevention. Followed by reduce. Followed by reuse, followed by recycle, finally energy recovery and disposal. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? इंटीग्रेटेड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट प्लान ना. इंटीग्रेटेड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट प्लान इसको बोलते हैं. सो रिसाइकिल मतलब ओनली इट विल टॉक अबाउट रिसाइकिल. देखो ये पॉइंट्स में कंफ्यूजन चलते, आप सोचते इट इज ए रिसाइकिल, मतलब इट विल टॉक ओनली अबाउट वन रिसाइकिल ओनली. If you think about waste reduction, it will talk only about reduce, not all the three R's. Point समझ आ गया? This is talking about reduction, is talking about only reduce. Waste utilization, it is talking about only reuse. Recycling is only talking about only recycle. But all three are in the integrated waste management plan. Clear? Clear? Integrated waste management plan. Tulasi and Janvi. It is not recycling plan, it is not reducing plan, it is reuse plan. It is integrated waste management plan. What does World Ozone Day celebrate? World Ozone Day. World Ozone Day, when it is celebrated? According to which protocol? Paris Agreement, UNEP creation, Kyoto Protocol, Montreal Protocol. Chapandi. So World Ozone Day, first of all, World Ozone Day, when it is bolo, September 16. World Ozone Day is September 16. But they are not asking about the date. The question is not about asking about the date. The question is which protocol is celebrating World Ozone Day? Which protocol is celebrating? Janvi Garu saying 4. Okay. So what is Paris Agreement? Paris Agreement, climate change and mitigation. Paris Agreement will talk about climate changes and mitigation. पता है ना? Climate change and fossil fuel, global warming, that discussion carried out in Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement. UNEP, United Nations Environmental Protection Creation. Okay? United Nations Environmental Protection Program, UNEP creation. It is actually environmental protection organization. Environmental protection organization is UNEP. And already we discussed what is Kyoto Protocol. ये तो बता दिया ना. Kyoto Protocol always will talk greenhouse gas reduction. So finally, Montreal Protocol, Ozone Day, it talk about ozone layer protection. Ozone hole बनाते हैं, ozone hole बनाते हैं. तो it is talking about by pushing out CFCs, by reducing quantity of CFC generation, chlorofluorocarbons responsible. Chlorofluorocarbons causes ozone depletion. So what is our target? We have to push out CFC. Pushing out matlab reduce CFC so that ozone depletion kam ho jayega. That is target in a Montreal Protocol, and they celebrate Ozone Day on September 16. They celebrate Ozone Day on September 16. Clear? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं सभी लोग. बताओ फटाफट जल्दी. Any more questions on this? Any more questions on this? बोलो फटाफट जल्दी. वेट कर रहे भैया. बोलो ना. What is the key benefit of recycling wastewater for industrial application? Key benefit of recycling. So here the question is about not solid waste management, wastewater recycling. Question talks about wastewater recycling. So when you do recycling of wastewater, what happened to environment, water consumption in the environment? It's decrease water consumption, increase in water consumption they are saying. This is wrong. Minimize environmental impact, increased energy efficiency, reduced water quality. So the only thing, impact on environment will be reduced, minimized. This is only the impact on environment will be minimized. That is only the answer. Chalo. Which value is placed on natural products that are consumed after moving through a market? So this values ka statement definition very clearly yesterday and before yesterday we discussed. सेकंड क्लास, फर्स्ट क्लास या सेकंड क्लास में अच्छे से लिख के बता दिया कौन सा वैल्यू क्या होता है. तो क्या बता रहे अभी? नेचुरल प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में बेच दिया, नेचुरल प्रोडक्ट कंज्यूम्ड मूविंग थ्रू ए मार्केट, एक मार्केट में नेचुरल प्रोडक्ट तो बेच दिया, कौन सा वैल्यू बढ़ेगा? प्रोडक्ट कमर्शियल में यूज कर रहे हैं, प्रोडक्टिव यूज वैल्यू, प्रोडक्टिव यूज ओनली ना, प्रोडक्टिव यूज ओनली ना. वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. चलो, खैला देवी वाइल्ड लाइफ सैंक्चुरी कौन सा स्टेट में रहते हैं? बायोडाइवर्सिटी का क्वेश्चंस आते ना. दिस इज ऑल्सो इन बायोडाइवर्सिटी यू टॉक अबाउट एक्सटिंक्ट स्पीशीज, एंडेंजर्ड स्पीशीज, वाइल्ड लाइफ सैंक्चुरीज. सो बर्ड्स का बारे में, एक्सटिंक्ट लेक का बारे में, सभी चीज बायोडाइवर्सिटी का अंदर आते हैं. दिस इज अगेन बायोडाइवर्सिटी क्वेश्चन. इन विच स्टेट इज द खैला देवी वाइल्ड लाइफ सैंक्चुरी सिचुएटेड? बताओ भैया, ये तो मुश्किल होता है. मध्य प्रदेश, पंजाब, हरियाणा और राजस्थान. ये तो सिर्फ बाय हार्ट करने वाला. राजस्थान सिर्फ लिख के पढ़ो, बस सिर्फ लिख के पढ़ो, ये तो गेस वर्क हो जाएगा, नहीं होगा. Which of the following types of solid waste best describe MSW? Previously, just now, recently only we discussed what is the characteristic best describe MSW? कौन सा characteristics MSW को describe करते? Hazardous, non-toxic, non-hazardous, toxic. बताओ भैया. The best property, if we want to say any waste as MSW, it must be. Bolo, it must be. What happened, Tulasi? It must be toxic. If the waste is toxic, you say MSW. Tulasi? Waste is toxic, you say MSW. So just now we discussed it, na? Just now somewhere we have written. Somewhere they see this. MSW is, what is property of MSW? Just now wrote, na? MSW, if we want to say one material, one waste as MSW, it must be non-hazardous. Very clearly written just now. So what is the answer? Answer is non-hazardous. Non-hazardous. Which of the following is a non-ferrous metal? Mild steel, high carbon steel, grey cast iron, copper. बोलो बोलो फटाफट చెప్పండి. Which of the following is a non-ferrous metal? I am waiting. So non-ferrous मतलब जो मेटल पे आयरन नहीं रहेगा इसको बोलते नॉन फेरस. तो ये तो एलिमिनेट ना, नाम पे भी आयरन है, ये तो एलिमिनेट है. फिर बिना आयरन स्टील नहीं बना सकते. विदाउट आयरन वी कांट मेक एनी स्टील. सो माइल्ड स्टील, हाई कार्बन स्टील वी कैन कट डाउन. व्हाट इज रिमाइनिंग? Remaining is copper. Remaining is copper. Na? According to Bernoulli equation, the total energy of any fluid particle is the sum of pressure energy and potential energy only, pressure energy, kinetic energy and potential energy, kinetic energy and potential energy, pressure energy and kinetic energy. So as per Bernoulli equation, the total energy formula, total energy formula as per Bernoulli equation, total head, simply say it as a total head. We can say take it as a total head, no problem. Total head is equal to P by rho G plus V square by 2G plus Z. P by rho G, V square by 2G plus Z. बताओ ना अभी क्या हो रहा है भैया? What is the formula now? What is the formula now? So we can say P by rho G, according to P by rho G, whatever energy, pressure energy, pressure head. V square by 2G, kinetic energy head, Z, datum head, potential head. Datum head बता सकते, potential head, इसको बोलते ना potential head, datum head, potential head. So what is the answer? Pressure energy, kinetic energy and potential energy. हो जाता है ना भैया? Pressure energy, kinetic energy, potential energy. चलो. What is the difference between crystalline and amorphous solids? Crystalline and amorphous solids difference. Crystalline solids have an ordered arrangement of atoms. Amorphous solids lack long range order. Crystalline solids are always metals. Amorphous solids are always non-metal. crystalline solids can only exist at high temperature, amorphous solids exist at room temperature. Crystalline solids man-made, amorphous are natural. So when such kind of question came, and this is the question from material science, तो ऐसा मॉडल क्वेश्चन आ गया मटेरियल साइंस से. हमको कुछ नहीं पता है, but you can guess what are the wrong statements. That is the most important thing. Using our common sense, we can gauge what are the wrong statements. So see this, crystalline solid should be anything. It can't always metal. Same. Amorphous solids may be anything. It can't be always non-metal. That should be wrong statement. We can eliminate this. No? Yes or no? You can eliminate or not? So the statement is saying always crystalline is metal, always amorphous is non-metal. So that is a wrong statement. Then crystalline solids, see this, only exist at high temperature. No. If you say crystalline solid only exists at high temperature, we can't maintain always throughout 365 days, 24/7, we can't maintain high temperature. Then there is a possibility crystalline may be converted to amorphous. So that is impossible, universally not possible case. Same. Amorphous exist at room temperature. So these are two wrong, obviously. Crystalline solids are natural, artificial, man-made. Amorphous solids are natural, artificial. दोनों. ये भी गलत है. तो crystalline and amorphous, the difference is fixed structure. The solids which have a fixed structure, ordered arrangement, fixed structure. Amorphous solids, long range order, lack long range order, lack, not having fixed structure. So amorphous पता है ना? The word amorphous मतलब having certain variation. Liquid, amorphous liquid हो सकते हैं, solid हो सकते हैं. So इसका कारण से their structure is not fixed, lack long range order. Clear? Degrees of freedom represent in process engineering. So it's not about process engineering. Generally degrees of freedom where we study generally degrees of freedom. We study in engineering mechanics. Na? You know degrees of freedom where we study. We study degrees of freedom in engineering mechanics. याद है या नहीं? The number of rotations, the number of movements, the number of dimensions to be possible to be varied for a particular parameter. For a specific parameter, how many dimensions to be modified? For example, when we talk about an open channel, canal. When you design an open channel flow, the parameters which can be modified, if it is a natural channel or if it is an artificial channel. If it is artificial channel, we can change perimeter, we can change the width, we can change the depth, we can change the cross section. So 4 degrees of freedom. Like that, for every structure, for every material or for every property, the changeable or not changeable parameter, dimensions which can be modified. Generally क्या बोल सकते हैं? Degrees of freedom. Formula पता है? Formula पता है? Number of unknowns minus number of unknowns minus number of independent variables. So we can get dependent variables now. Number of unknowns minus number of independent variables. If you write number of unknowns minus number of independent, you get number of dependent variables which can be modifiable. Dependent variables are modifiable. Yes or no? Understand? Clear? Yes, structures it will come, engineering mechanics it will come. It starts from engineering mechanics, it is found in structural analysis, it is studied even in open channel flow. हर structure का बारे में degrees of freedom का बारे में बात करते जाते हैं. तो अब क्या हो गया? What is the answer here? The energy stored within a system undergoing change of state. There is no relation of energy with respect to degrees of freedom. No need to think about it. Number of inlet and outlet streams in a process. This is related to inlet outlet streams, which is not at all related to a structure. Wrong. Total equations used for solving unknowns. The total equations, it is talking about the different number of equations used to solve unknown. No unknown pata hone ke baad, you know number of unknowns, then you know independent variable, then you get degrees of freedom. So you can get a number of variables that can be manipulated after design specifications are set. That is what we said now. Open channel flow, artificial channel, when design standards are set, four parameters variables we can change. Understand this? So generally क्या होता है degrees of freedom? You know this? I hope you know degrees of freedom we can classify like translational degrees of freedom, rotational degrees of freedom. पता है? Translational degrees of freedom, rotational degrees of freedom. So translational में all points in the motion move along the axis. All points of a body move in parallel, in same direction. Along axis बता सकते हैं. Along the axis. Then rotational में we can say around the axis. Around, move in a curved path. Na? Around the axis. Move in a curved path, degrees of freedom. Translational degrees of freedom along the axis. Rotational degrees of freedom around the axis. So how many translational degrees of freedom number? Please tell me. How many number of translational degrees of freedom? पता है आपको? Number of translational degrees of freedom, how many? अरे this is physics ना, 11th 12th physics. You have 3 degrees of freedom for translational. Rotational, depending upon structure to structure, depending upon the orientation, rotational vary करते जाते हैं. But translational have only X, Y, Z. 3 axes. X, Y, Z, 3 axes they are having. So, translational degrees of freedom carry X, Y, Z axis along the axis. Clear? What was the key feature of Forest Conservation Act 1980? Forest Conservation Act 1980 we'll talk about. We'll talk about what? Tell me. Tell me. So please go through the point again here. You don't need to study Forest Conservation Act. You don't need to study Air Pollution Act. Because by common sense we can understand this. So key feature पूछ रहा है Forest Conservation Act key feature. Restriction on deforestation without government approval. Yes, very important. Na? Cutting down the trees restricted until unless you have the government approval. You must take in a forest, if you want to cut the trees, you must take the government approval. This is only na primary. Then creation of reserved and protected forests. That will be government can take care. Why you can impose and you can think about creating a reserved forest, protected forest, ये हमारा हाथ में नहीं, ये government का काम है. Transfer of forest management to village community. Again, this is also government related work. We are not at all doing anything. Consolidation of all forest laws. No, na? Only one key feature we have to talk. That is option 1. Clear? Clear सभी लोग को बताओ फटाफट जल्दी. How does crazy consumerism impact environmental sustainability? How does crazy consumerism impact environmental sustainability? How does? Bolo. Please read the statement. So crazy consumerism. Matlab, what is the meaning of crazy consumerism? So you can consume the products at a high rate. Consumption of the products at a high rate. Na? High rate consumption of products that can be considered to be crazy consumerism that impact the environmental sustainability. That is going to talk. So it fosters sustainable production practices. It encourages mindful consumption of natural resources. It leads to over-exploitation of resources and environmental degradation. It promotes recycling and waste reduction initiative. So crazy consumerism, high consumption. High consumption, where it is applicable, over exploitation. Simple. Simple. यहाँ चलेगा ना? Simple यहाँ चलेगा ना भैया? बोलो. बोलो बताओ फटाफट जल्दी. चलो. Which of the following diversity values can be classified as representing ब्यूटी ऑफ ए वाटरफॉल इन द वेस्टर्न घाट्स? ये तो कल बता दिया आपको वेरी क्लियरली. आई टोल्ड दिस वेरी क्लियरली. सो यू आर एंजॉइंग द प्रोडक्ट वैल्यू. यू आर नॉट यूजिंग, यू आर नॉट कंज्यूमिंग, यू आर नॉट मार्केटिंग, यू आर नॉट प्रोड्यूसिंग. जस्ट यू आर एंजॉइंग द प्रोडक्ट वैल्यू. तो इस्थेटिक वैल्यू होता है ना, इट शुड बी इस्थेटिक वैल्यू ना. बोलो भैया, aesthetic value. How can droughts be mitigated? How can droughts be mitigated? How to control or how to manage droughts? Question समझ आ गया? Who is this? What happened? Gopalapuram Ravi. Government job ఇప్పిస్తావా నాకు రవి? Are you going to give government job to me? Tell me. I will apply them. If you say, I will apply them. Chalo. What is the answer? Droughts can be mitigated by encouraging excessive irrigation practices, increasing water consumption during dry season, promoting deforestation to increase soil moisture retention, implementing water conservation measures such as rainwater harvesting. So read, drought matlab low water quantity, having lowest rainfall, we talk it as a drought. It should be mitigated. If you do excessive irrigation practices, how low water quantity can be mitigated? गलत है ना? Wrong ना? if you use excessive irrigation practices means you need to have lot of amount of water resources, but here it is a drought, it is not possible. Then they are saying increase water consumption during dry season. Already drought is there, water is less. If you increase water consumption during dry season, that is also wrong. By promoting deforestation, deforestation itself is the reason for drought. Again you are promoting deforestation. Cutting trees, climate change. Cutting trees, reduce evaporation, reduce precipitation, drought will occur. So finally, implementing water conservation using RWH, rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting. This is only na? Chalo. Clear? Chalo. So by this we'll end the session. We'll continue tomorrow. All class links, KPSR related PDFs, questions, important notification we'll get here in our Telegram channel, KPSR students. Okay? Good evening, Sunil ji. चलो फिर एंड करेंगे सेशन अभी.